Wake up with me for a moment. If your chest has felt heavy because you care too much about what they said, what they didn't say, the message that never came, this is for you. Here's a softer way. Take one breath. Put your hand on your heart and tell yourself, maybe I don't have to fix today. Maybe I can just be here. Peace starts small like that, not by winning every argument, but by letting one pass. Not by controlling every outcome, but by loosening your grip a little. It's okay to stop running. It's okay to rest your mind. If this lands, stay with me. And hey, if you want more gentle, real-life tools like this, subscribe now so we can practice together each week. No pressure, just a calm corner for your day. Maybe the truth is simple. The less you chase control, the easier it is to feel your own life. I used to think peace would come when people finally understood me, when plans finally matched my map. It didn't. Peace came the night I stood at my kitchen sink, let the water run, and admitted, it's okay if they don't get it. It's okay if I don't have the last word. In that tiny surrender, my shoulders dropped. The noise didn't disappear, but moved farther away, like traffic behind a closed window. You can try this today. When the thought shows up, they're judging me. I have to explain, whisper, maybe, and maybe I don't need to carry that. Feel the thought drift a step back. Let your breath step forward. Think of your attention like a small, warm lamp. Whatever you light up grows. If you light up old stories, how they wronged you, how you fell short, your room fills with shadows. If you turn the lamp toward what you can do now, one honest text, one glass of water, one line of truth, the room feels different. Not perfect, just human. And that's enough. It's okay if you're not the hero today. It's okay if you're healing in quiet ways no one sees. Maybe you don't need the medal or the apology. Maybe what you need is 10 steady minutes of being the sky, not the storm. I keep thinking about a woman named Evelyn I met at a coffee shop. A man cut in front of her. Her chest went tight. The old script rose. I'm invisible. She paused, put a hand on her tote, and asked herself, what am I trying to protect? Not the spot in line, but the need to be seen. She said, it's okay, go ahead. He turned, eyes wet. My wife's in the car, it's chemo day. The whole story flipped. We don't always get revealed like that. I know. But the pause always gives us one gift, reality. Without the pause, we live in movies. With the pause, we return to a room we're actually standing in. Maybe you're tired because you've been performing. Smiling when you want to be quiet. Explaining when a simple no, thank you would do. Today, try the clean line. One sentence for what happened. One sentence for what you'll do next, then stop. No extra footnotes. No tour of your heart for someone who won't visit with care. It's okay to be clear and kind at the same time. It's okay to keep your voice low and your boundaries firm. You're not cold. You're finally warm to yourself. Here's a small drill you can keep in your pocket. I call it pause, named Allow Act. Pause for one soft breath. Name the pull, approval, control, fear. Allow the feeling to rise and fall without chasing it. Let it be a wave, not a cage. Act on the smallest true thing. Send the draft, drink the water, go for the 5-minute walk. You don't have to fix your whole life before lunch. You just have to take care of the inch in front of you. Inch by inch is how peace sneaks back in. And about caring less, I don't mean shutting down. I mean caring like a gardener, not a jailer. Water what's alive. Trim what's overgrown. Let seasons be seasons. If someone keeps pulling you into storms, you can love them without boarding every lightning bus they drive. You can say, I care and I won't argue tonight. You can say, I hear you, and I'm going to rest. You can let the phone rest face down in the morning, and check your breath before you check your feed. It's okay to start your day with real light, not blue light. If you need a picture for your mind, use this. Thoughts are buses. They roar with big signs: disaster, rejection, fix it now, and open their doors. You don't have to climb aboard. Hands in your pockets. You can watch 3 buses leave without you. Then a quieter one pulls up. Call your sister. Take the walk. Finish the page. That's the one you board. You didn't win some grand battle. You just chose your ride. That's enough for today. Maybe you've been waiting for a better past. Maybe you wanted someone to say sorry in the exact words that heal you. If it never comes, you can still be free. Put your hand on your heart now if you can and say, it's okay. I'm allowed to move forward. Forgiveness isn't saying it didn't matter. It's saying you matter more than a replay. It's letting your nervous system come home. If any of this felt like a hand on your shoulder, stay close. Tap so the platform knows to pass this along to someone who needs a softer day. Share with a friend who overthinks at 2 a.m. Comment one string you're cutting this week: approval, control, or catastrophe. And subscribe so we can practice small human steps together. We don't need to be perfect. Maybe we just need to breathe, to choose one honest inch, and to remember it's okay to be the sky and let the weather pass. Maybe peace isn't something we chase. It's something we allow. I want you to think about that as we start, because maybe, just maybe, you've been holding on too tightly. You've been trying to make everyone happy, to make life make sense, to make yourself enough. But peace doesn't bloom from pressure. It grows in softness. So before we go any further, take a breath. Let your shoulders drop. You don't need to control this moment. You just need to meet it. And if that feels right, go ahead and subscribe so you'll have a quiet space here every week. A reminder that it's okay to slow down, to come home to yourself. You know, life has this way of teaching through small things. Sometimes it's not the big heartbreak or the loss that cracks us open. It's the tiny disappointments that pile up, the way we keep showing up for everyone but ourselves. I used to wake up already tired, not from doing too much, but from thinking too much. Did I say the wrong thing? Should I have done more? Why don't they notice how hard I try? It's exhausting, right? We live in a world that tells us to be everything, everywhere, all at once. But what if happiness isn't about being everything? It's about being present for something, one small thing at a time. There's a story about a teacher who handed her student a glass of water and asked, "How heavy is this?" They guessed, half a pound, maybe a pound. She smiled and said, "It depends on how long you hold it. A minute is fine. An hour, your arm aches. A day and your arm goes numb. It's not the weight, it's the holding." And that's what we do with our worries. We hold them too long. We tell ourselves, if I just think about it a bit more, I'll fix it. But most of the time, we just tire ourselves out. So maybe the secret isn't finding perfect answers. Maybe it's learning when to put the glass down. I think about this a lot when people talk about letting go. It sounds easy until it's you. The text you didn't get back. The plan that fell apart. The person who left without explanation. We replay it. Like, maybe one more look will change the ending. But endings don't change. We do. Letting go doesn't mean we stop caring. It means we stop carrying what was never ours to fix. It's okay if you still feel the ache. You're human. You loved. You tried. You learned. You don't have to be over it. You just have to be moving through it. Here's something gentle you can try tonight. Before bed, whisper to yourself, I release what I can't control. Say it once. Say it twice if you need to. It's not magic, it's medicine. It's your nervous system learning a new language, one where peace speaks louder than panic. And when you wake up tomorrow, instead of asking, "What do I need to fix today?" try asking, "What deserves my attention today?" You'll notice most of the noise fades when you focus on what's real. Your breath, your coffee, the morning light slipping across your wall. Those are the moments that rebuild you. Maybe that's what growing up really means. Not collecting more things or proving more points, but realizing you don't need as much as you thought to feel whole. Maybe you can sit in silence and still feel full. Maybe you can walk away without closing every story. And maybe the version of you who's been fighting for peace all this time deserves to rest now. You've done enough. You are enough. If this message feels like a small exhale in a loud world, leave a like. It helps more people find this calm corner. Share it with someone who's been trying too hard lately. Comment below what you're ready to let go of, even just a little. And if you want more reminders to breathe, more space to be, hit subscribe. This isn't just a channel. It's a quiet place to practice being okay again. Because sometimes you don't need to be perfect. You just need to remember, it's okay to put the glass down. Maybe you've noticed it too, how peace always feels just out of reach, like something you need to earn. You think, if I fix this, if I prove that, if they finally understand me, then maybe you can breathe. But what if peace isn't something that arrives after the storm? What if it's the calm beneath it? Always there, just waiting for you to stop trying so hard. You don't have to chase stillness. You just have to stop running from silence. And if that thought feels like a soft sigh in your chest, stay a little longer. Subscribe. So every week, you have a quiet place to come back to, a reminder that it's okay to be gentle with yourself. You see, I used to think strength meant keeping it all together. Smiling even when it hurt. Carrying the weight because dropping it felt like failure. But there's a kind of strength that looks nothing like that. It's the strength of loosening your grip, of saying, it's okay if I don't have the answer right now, of letting life unfold without forcing every piece into place. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. Because when you unclench your hands, you realize how much beauty was trying to land in them all along. I remember meeting an older man at the park one morning. He was feeding the ducks, quietly humming to himself. We talked and he told me, I stopped rushing when I realized there's nowhere to arrive. I laughed, thinking he was joking, but he wasn't. Every time I ran after happiness, he said, I missed it sitting beside me. That line stuck with me. It made me wonder, how many mornings have I rushed past peace, thinking it was waiting somewhere else? Maybe today, you can pause, just for one moment. Look around. Feel the air in your lungs. Hear the small sounds that mean you're alive. A ticking clock, a bird outside, your own heartbeat. You don't need a perfect life to be grateful for a simple one. Gratitude isn't about ignoring what's wrong. It's about remembering what's right. When you choose to see even a single moment of calm as enough, life softens around you. And yes, some days you'll forget. You'll slip back into worry, into replaying what-ifs, into trying to please everyone but yourself. That's okay. The goal isn't to never fall. It's to notice sooner when you have. To stop mid-spiral, smile and whisper, ah, there I go again. Then come back. Come back to your breath, your body, your now. You can start over as many times as you need. The moment you return to the present, the world returns to you. Here's a simple habit that's been saving me lately. Every time I feel overwhelmed, I ask myself one question. What's true right now? Not what might happen, Not what I fear will happen, but what's true in this single second. Usually, the answer is gentle. I'm breathing. I'm safe. The sky hasn't fallen. Life, somehow, is still holding me. And in that truth, the chaos starts to lose its grip. Maybe that's the real secret. Peace doesn't come when things get quiet. It comes when you do. So tonight, before you scroll again or reach for distraction, sit with yourself for a few breaths. Let the day fade out. Let go of the stories that make your shoulders tense. You did enough today. You are enough today. And if tomorrow asks for more, you'll meet it when it comes. Not now. For now, just be. If this touched something in you, if you felt a little lighter reading this, leave a like so others can find their calm too. Share it with someone who's been trying too hard lately. And subscribe, not for more noise, but for reminders to slow down, breathe, and come home to yourself. Because maybe the peace you've been searching for isn't lost. Maybe it's just been waiting quietly for you to stop, listen, and remember it's okay to be here, just as you are. Maybe life has been a little too loud lately. Too many opinions, too many expectations, too many things asking for your energy all at once. You try to keep up, to respond, to prove that you're doing okay. But deep down, you're just tired. Tired of being on. Tired of trying to be understood. Tired of giving everything and still feeling unseen. It's okay. You don't need to be everything for everyone. You don't need to hold every piece together. Take a breath right now, slow and soft. Maybe that's enough for today. If you want more quiet moments like this, subscribe and let's keep learning how to breathe again, together. You know, I used to think peace was something big, something you find after breakthrough or a long trip to some faraway place. But the truth is, it's much smaller. It's in the space between one breath and the next. It's in choosing not to answer every message the second it buzzes. It's in taking a walk without your phone, just listening to your own footsteps. The world says hustle, but your heart whispers, slow down. Maybe it's time to listen to that softer voice. It's not laziness. It's coming home. There was a woman I once met named Grace. She'd spent years trying to please everyone, her parents, her boss, her friends. One day she told me, I realized I was always the last person I showed kindness to. That line broke me a little, because how often do we do the same? We tell others to rest, to heal, to take it easy while we run ourselves dry. Grace started doing something simple. Every night before bed, she'd say to herself, you did your best. That's enough. It changed her life. Maybe it could change yours too. I think we forget that we're allowed to stop, to just be. You don't need to earn a pause. You don't have to justify taking care of yourself. The world won't collapse if you rest. The emails can wait. The dishes can wait. Even your thoughts can wait. Sit down, close your eyes, feel the rise and fall of your breath. That's you, alive, trying, human. Isn't that enough for now? And maybe, while you're sitting there, something softer starts to bloom, a quiet kind of gratitude. Gratitude not for things being perfect, but for the tiny things that still hold you up. The sound of rain, a friend's message, the warmth of tea between your hands. Gratitude doesn't erase pain, but it balances it. It says, yes, things are hard, but there's still beauty here. And sometimes that's the thread that keeps us from unraveling. Here's a thought. What if you don't need a new version of yourself to be happy? What if you just need to forgive the version that tried so hard? Maybe you spent years trying to fix who you are, chasing books, quotes, habits. But peace doesn't come from becoming someone else. It comes from finally being kind to the person you already are. You don't have to be better to be worthy of rest. You already are. So tonight, when the world quiets down and it's just you and the hum of your own thoughts, whisper something kind to yourself. Something simple like, I'm proud of you for making it through today. Because you did. Even if it wasn't perfect, even if you stumbled, you showed up. That's enough. That's more than enough. If this felt like a small exhale in your heart, don't forget to like the video. It helps others find their way to calm, too. Share it with someone who needs a gentle reminder that it's okay to slow down. And subscribe so every week we can keep walking the softer path together. A path where peace isn't a reward, it's a practice. Because maybe the real secret isn't learning how to do more. It's learning how to finally be here, quietly, fully, and free. Maybe peace isn't found in doing more, but in learning how to do less. With love, with presence, with honesty. We live in a world that celebrates noise, speed, and endless motion. You scroll, you compare, you rush, and somehow you still feel behind. But maybe you're not behind. Maybe you're just caught in someone else's race. So, before you move another inch, pause. Put your hand over your chest. Feel it rise. That heartbeat is proof that you're already enough. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to chase it. You just have to listen. And if that feels like a breath of relief, stay with me. Subscribe, and let's build a small, quiet space right here. A place where it's okay to go slow again. You know, I've started noticing something about tired people. And I don't mean physically tired. I mean so tired. They're not exhausted because they've done too much. They're exhausted because too much of what they've done didn't matter. All that energy scattered into things they didn't really care about. Conversations that drained them. People who only half listened. Expectations that never stopped moving. That's not living. That's surviving. So maybe the question isn't how can I do more, but what can I stop doing? What can you let go of today? Even just one small thing that steals your peace. I once knew a woman who kept a not-to-do list. Every morning, while others wrote tasks, she wrote releases. I will not check my phone before sunrise. I will not say yes when I mean no. I will not explain myself to those who have already decided. She told me it was her spiritual detox. And you know what? She smiled more. Not because her life was easier, but because her mind was lighter. Maybe you need that too. A small promise to yourself. I will not lose my peace trying to please. There's a kind of magic that happens when you stop multitasking your life. Suddenly, small moments stretch wider. Coffee tastes richer. The sound of rain feels like music again. You start hearing yourself think. And for once, your thoughts aren't rushing, they're just there. You realize that clarity doesn't come from controlling everything. It comes from caring about fewer things deeply. So ask yourself tonight, what are my essential three things that truly matter today, emotionally, spiritually, practically? Everything else can wait. Not forever, but for now. Maybe that's what wisdom really is, not knowing more, but needing less. Not chasing the loudest goals, but tending to the quietest truths. Like how a walk at sunset can fix more than a long conversation. How one sincere apology heals faster than 1,000 excuses. How silence sometimes says more than advice ever could. You start noticing that peace isn't hiding. It's waiting in the small, the slow, the simple. Here's something I've been practicing. Whenever I feel pulled in 100 directions, I ask, does this feed my peace, my growth, or my soul? If the answer is no, I let it go. I don't mean forever, just for today. Because every no you give to what drains you is a yes to what matters. It's not laziness. It's discipline. The kind of discipline that saves your sanity. Imagine waking up tomorrow and doing one thing, just one, with full attention. No background noise, no half-hearted scrolling, no thinking ahead, just being in it. That kind of presence is rare now, but it's where your strength hides. When you give yourself fully to what's in front of you, even the smallest task becomes sacred. You stop surviving days, and you start living them. Maybe success isn't about checking every box. Maybe it's about ending the day with your heart still soft, your mind still clear, your energy still your own. Because the truth is, you weren't made to conquer every mountain. You were made to notice the sunlight between them. You were made to walk slowly with awareness and call that enough. So tonight, as you lie down, don't ask, did I do enough? Ask, did I love enough? Did I rest enough? Did I pay attention? Those are the real victories. And if this message feels like a small exhale, hit like, share it with someone who needs permission to slow down, and subscribe. We'll keep reminding each other, again and again, that you don't have to chase the world to live fully in it. Maybe the most powerful thing you can do is less. But do it deeply, do it calmly, and let that be enough. Maybe the real storm isn't outside, it's inside. The thoughts that don't stop, the overthinking that never rests, the constant need to fix what was never broken. We all do it. We replay conversations. Imagine better versions of ourselves. Try predict tomorrow before we even finish today. But peace doesn't live there. Peace begins when you stop fighting every thought that crosses your mind. So right now, take a breath. You don't need to solve yourself. You just need to sit with yourself. And if that feels like a tiny bit of calm, subscribe, so you'll have a safe, gentle space to come back to whenever life gets too loud. You see, the mind loves drama. It writes stories faster than truth can speak. Someone sends a short text, okay, and your mind creates a whole movie. They're mad at me. I must have done something wrong. Your chest tightens, your pulse quickens, and suddenly you're reacting to a story that only exists in your head. I've been there too. But here's the quiet shift. Not every thought deserves an audience. Not every feeling requires a response. You can simply notice it, whisper, there you are, and let it pass. Imagine your thoughts like clouds drifting through a wide, open sky. Some are bright and soft. Others are dark and heavy. You don't have to chase them. You don't have to fight them. You just have to remember, you're not the clouds, you're the sky. The clouds move, the sky stays. You are that steady space where everything can happen and still nothing can break you. There's a simple question that can change everything. Is this real or is this a story? The next time your heart races or your stomach knots, ask yourself that. Is it happening now? Or is it just my mind rehearsing a fear that hasn't even arrived? Most of the pain we feel isn't from what's happening. It's from what we think is happening. The argument that never took place, the judgment that never came, the worry that never became true. And when you see that clearly, you start to smile a little at your own mind. Not mock it, not fight it, just smile and say, I see you. There's power in that kind of softness. You don't have to silence your thoughts. You just have to stop letting them drive. Meditation, mindfulness, they sound complicated, but they're really just small pauses, a breath before reply, a heartbeat before an opinion, a soft, gentle wait before you pick up the next heavy thing your mind hands you. That's all it takes to start shifting from chaos to clarity. I remember talking with a man who used to worry himself sick every night. Bills, deadlines, health, everything. He told me one day, he finally whispered, "I'll think about it tomorrow." Just that. And he slept deeply for the first time in months. Because sometimes peace isn't solving your problems. It's giving yourself permission to rest before you face them. You're allowed to do that too. The truth is, most storms inside you pass if you stop standing in the rain. When your thoughts spiral, don't jump in. Step back, watch them swirl, and let them go. You don't have to wrestle your mind into silence. You just have to stop feeding its noise. Don't add fire to every spark. Let the spark fade. Let the thought drift. Let yourself breathe. Maybe you don't need a perfect mind to find peace. Maybe you just need a kinder one. The kind that says, "It's okay that I feel this way." The kind that doesn't turn every emotion into a battle. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to be aware. That's enough. Awareness turns noise into notes. Awareness turns storms into passing weather. So, if tonight your head feels heavy and your thoughts won't stop spinning, don't fight them. Just lie down, breathe slow, and whisper to yourself, "I am not my thoughts. I am the space they move through." Feel that truth sink in. You don't have to chase peace. You just have to stop running from it. If this brought even a small wave of calm, hit like so others can find it too. Share it with someone whose mind never seems to rest. And subscribe, because every week we practice this together. Not perfection, not control, but awareness. The simple, quiet art being the sky. Open, steady, and free. Maybe pain doesn't break us. Maybe it opens us. We're taught to shut down when things hurt, to toughen up, to hide the parts that tremble. But what if real strength isn't closing off? It's staying open even when it stings. What if healing doesn't start when the pain ends, but when you stop running from it? Take a deep breath right now. Feel that tightness in your chest? That's not weakness. That's your heart asking to be felt, not fixed. And if this feels like something you've been needing to hear, subscribe, so we can walk through these softer lessons together, week by week. You don't have to do this alone. I met a woman named Margaret once. She lost her husband after 40 years of marriage. Everyone told her to be strong, to keep busy. But she told me something I'll never forget. They said, "Move on," she whispered. But I just needed to move through. That's what healing really is, not rushing rain, but learning how to walk in it without drowning. She didn't force herself to smile. She learned how to breathe again, how to sit beside her pain like an old friend who just needed company. And over time, she softened, not back to who she was, but into someone wiser, quieter, and somehow lighter. Pain asks us to close, but peace asks us to open, to stay present, even when the world feels harsh. It's okay to admit it hurts. It's okay to cry. You're not broken for feeling deeply. You're alive. When we shut down to protect ourselves, we also shut out joy, love, and connection. But when we stay open, even just a little, something begins to shift. The same heart that once ached becomes a heart that understands. That's the quiet gift of pain. It deepens your capacity to love, to empathize, to see. Sometimes staying open just means not building walls. You don't have to say yes to everyone. You don't have to let people walk all over you. But you can keep your heart soft. When someone disappoints you, you can choose to stay kind without staying stuck. When life doesn't go your way, you can breathe instead of blame. That softness doesn't make you weak. It makes you unbreakable. Because real resilience isn't about being hard. It's about staying human when the world tells you to harden. There's a simple question that helps me when life feels heavy. Where am I closing right now? Sometimes the answer is in my body. Clenched jaw, tight shoulders. Sometimes it's in my heart. Holding on to resentment, fear, or guilt, when you notice where you're closing, breathe into that space. Literally, a slow, deep breath into your chest or your belly can remind your body, I'm safe now. You don't have to run. You don't have to hide. You can stay open and still be okay. And I know it's not easy. Staying open hurts. It's messy. It means loving people who may never love you the same way. It means trusting again after being hurt. It means believing in new beginnings when your heart still remembers the endings. But if you can stay open through that, even just a little, you'll notice something miraculous. You start healing faster because you're no longer resisting life. You're flowing with it. So tonight, if you feel yourself closing off, don't fight it. Just notice it. Sit quietly. Place your hand on your heart and whisper, it's safe to stay soft. That's it. One small sentence, one small reminder. Over time, your body will start to believe it. And one day, you'll wake up and realize that the pain didn't destroy you. It shaped you. It stretched your heart wide enough to hold joy again. If this message touched something inside you, hit like so it can reach someone else who needs it tonight. Share it with a friend who's been pretending to be fine. And subscribe so we can keep learning this truth together. That softness isn't weakness. It's courage. It's how the light gets back in. Maybe the heart that stays open can never really break. It just keeps growing. Maybe what hurts most isn't the pain itself. It's the story we keep telling around it. The why me, the this shouldn't have happened, the endless rewinding of moments we can't rewrite. We keep waiting for the world to apologize, for someone to explain why it turned out this way. But life doesn't always give explanations. It gives silence. It gives space. And in that space, if we stop fighting long enough, we find something softer, acceptance. Take a breath with me now. You don't have to understand everything to be at peace. You just have to stop wrestling with what's already gone. And if that sounds like something your heart needs to remember, subscribe so we can keep building this quiet kind of strength together, one breath at a time. You see, I used to wake up every morning with a checklist in my mind, not for chores or work, but for people. Did they call back? Did they appreciate what I did? Did I make everyone happy yesterday? And every morning I'd fail that list because people don't move on our timeline. Life doesn't always reflect our effort in the way we hope. One day I realized I wasn't tired from doing too much. I was tired from expecting too much. Expecting others to read my heart. Expecting life to play fair. Expecting peace to come once everyone else changed. That's when it hit me. Expectations aren't love, they're control in disguise. And control is exhausting. There's this invisible rope we tie to everything we care about. People, dreams, outcomes. We pull it tighter, thinking the closer we hold, the safer we are. But the tighter the grip, the deeper the burn. Imagine this. You're holding a rope tied to a heavy stone labeled, how life should be. You think if you just pull hard enough, it'll move. But all it's doing is cutting into your hand. That's what expectations do. They bleed us slowly, one silent disappointment at a time. And the freedom we want, it's not in pulling harder. It's in letting the rope fall. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you start caring wiser. You stop measuring love by how long something stays, and start honoring it for what it gave while it was here. You stop waiting for closure and start realizing that peace was never waiting at the end. It was waiting in the pause where you finally say, it's okay. I can love this memory and still move on. The pause where you stop asking, why did this happen, and start whispering, it happened. Now what can I learn? That small shift changes everything. I remember meeting an old man named Robert at a park one afternoon. He told me he used to wake up angry at the world, angry at the boss who fired him, at the friend who drifted away, at the son who never called. But one morning, sitting on that same park bench, he said something broke, not in a painful way, but like a shell cracking open. I realized, he said, life doesn't owe me an explanation. It's been happening for billions of years without mine. Then he laughed, a light, honest laugh that sounded like freedom. I decided I didn't need everything to go my way to be okay. He still missed his son. He still felt lonely sometimes. But he also started feeding the birds, talking to strangers, and noticing the sky again. Acceptance didn't fix his life. It made him present for it. Maybe that's all acceptance really is. The courage to stop editing reality. The moment you say, this is what is, something loosens inside you. You stop clenching your jaw against what's already true. You stop needing the world to rewrite itself to make you feel safe. And when you stop fighting what is, life finally has room to breathe again. Peace doesn't mean everything's perfect. It means you stop needing it to be. There's a simple truth I keep coming back to. The things you resist persist. The more you push against reality, the more it pushes back. But the moment you stop fighting, the storm loses power. That's why Buddhist wisdom teaches, whatever has the nature to rise has the nature to pass. Everything moves. Pain, joy, disappointment, love, all of it flows like a river. You don't stop the river by damming it. You stop it by drowning in it. The way out isn't to hold tighter, it's to float. So ask yourself, what are you still fighting today? A conversation that didn't go your way? A door that closed too soon? A version of yourself you thought you'd become by now? Maybe the answer isn't to win that battle. Maybe it's to drop the sword. Because this shouldn't be happening, you whisper, is another chain around your peace. What if instead, just for one moment, you said, it is happening and I'm still okay? Here's a small practice I've been using. When something feels unfair or heavy, I stop and ask, can I allow this to be true without judging it? Not forever, just for now. Can I allow the rain to fall? Can I allow the silence after someone leaves? Can I allow the uncertainty of not knowing what's next? Because when I allow things to be as they are, I stop adding pain to pain. The suffering softens. And in that softness, peace sneaks in quietly, like sunlight finding a gap in the blinds. I think of acceptance as a dance, not a destination. You don't master it once and for all. You keep moving with it, step by step, moment by moment. Some days you'll flow easily. Other days you'll stumble and fight. But that's okay. Grace lives in the trying. Life isn't asking you to be perfect. It's asking you to be present, to keep choosing softness when hardness feels safer, to keep trusting the river, even when you can't see where it bends. And maybe that's what healing really looks like. Not forgetting the pain, but losing your resistance to it. You still feel it, but it doesn't own you anymore. You stop asking life to stop raining, and instead, you learn to dance in it barefoot. You realize that peace isn't about everything getting quiet. It's about you becoming the quiet. So tonight, when your mind starts replaying all the things that didn't go as planned, pause. Don't argue with your thoughts. Don't beg the past to behave. Just breathe. Whisper softly, I release what I can't control. Say it twice if you need to. Feel how your body relaxes with every word, because that's what letting go feels like, not giving up, but giving into the truth that life still moves, even when you stand still. If this message felt like a small breath of calm, leave a like. It helps the space reach others who need it too. Share it with someone who's still holding the rope too tightly. and subscribe so we can keep practicing this gentle art together, the art of letting life be life. Because peace doesn't come from getting everything right. It comes from realizing that you were never meant to hold everything in the first place. You were meant to flow. You were meant to breathe. You were meant to be free. Maybe love isn't about holding on. Maybe it's about learning how to hold softly. We spend so much of our lives gripping people, memories, and moments as if they'll slip away unless we clench harder. But here's the quiet truth. Love breathes only when there's space. It wilts under control, but it blooms in freedom. Maybe that's why the people we love most teach us the hardest lessons. How to stay close without clinging, how to care without carrying, how to love without losing ourselves. If that feels like something you've been learning to, subscribe, because this space is where we practice love that frees, not love that fears. I once met a woman named Carol who carried a box of letters from her late husband. Every week, she'd open the box, read them again, cry, and then carefully close it. One day she told me, I realized I wasn't reading the letters. I was holding on to the pain. So she took the box to the beach, read one last letter aloud, and then let the waves carry it away. She didn't forget him that day. She finally released him with love. That's what non-attachment looks like. Not closing the door, but opening the window and letting the breeze move through. We often mistake non-attachment for indifference, but it's not coldness. It's clarity. It's looking at someone you care about and saying, I love you enough to let you be. It's realizing you can love someone deeply and still not need them to stay. It's the difference between saying, don't leave me, and thank you for being here. And once you understand that difference, you stop trying to control the story. You start living in the moment you're actually in. Attachment says, I'll only be happy if this lasts. Love says, I'm grateful this happened at all. That one shift can free years of pain. Because every time we attach our peace to permanence, we build our own prison. But when we choose presence instead of permanence, life becomes light again. You start to notice the beauty in moments you used to rush through. The sound of laughter before it fades. The warmth of a hug before it ends. The softness of saying goodbye with gratitude instead of grief. There was a man I knew named Henry who used to visit his wife's grave every Sunday. For 10 years, he brought the same bouquet of lilies and sat for hours in silence. One day, he came empty-handed. When I asked him why, he said, I finally realized she doesn't need my flowers. She's already in every good thing I do. That's when I understood letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means transforming love from possession into presence, from something you cling to into something that moves through you. You can still love someone you've released. You can still smile when their name comes up. You can still thank them silently for the lesson. Because real love doesn't end. It changes shape. It becomes a quiet kind of warmth that stays, even when the person doesn't. That's the beauty of non-attachment. It lets love breathe again. And maybe this is the hardest lesson, to stop performing for love, to stop proving you're worth it, to stop overgiving just to keep people close. You don't need to shrink yourself to be loved. You don't need to chase people who walked away. The ones who see your light won't need convincing. The ones who don't were never meant to stay in the glow. Let them go gently, without bitterness, without proof. Because the peace you'll find after releasing them will be the purest kind of love. Love for yourself. Here's a truth that took me years to learn. You can love and let go at the same time. You can miss someone and still be free. You can remember the good and not need to relive it. You can wish someone well without waiting for their return. Love doesn't disappear when you stop clinging. It becomes lighter, truer, wiser. Try this tonight. Sit in a quiet space, close your eyes, and bring to mind someone or something you've been holding too tightly. Maybe it's a person, maybe it's an outcome, maybe it's a dream. Picture yourself opening your hand and saying softly, "I release you with love." Breathe out slowly. That's what freedom feels like. Gentle, not dramatic. Peaceful, not painful. Because at the end of the day, love isn't about possession. It's about participation. You were never meant to cage what's beautiful. You were meant to witness it, to be part of it, and then to let it move as it must. Love that clings turns heavy. Love that flows turns holy. So when life asks you to let go, don't see it as loss. See it as trust. Trust that what's real will remain, and what's gone has already given you what it was meant to. Trust that letting go doesn't empty your heart. It makes space for new joy to enter. If this message felt like a small kind of peace, leave a like so others can find it too. Share it with someone who's learning how to release with grace. And subscribe so we can keep exploring this gentle art of loving without losing ourselves. Because maybe love's truest form isn't about holding forever. Maybe it's about holding softly and letting the wind decide when to carry it on. Maybe you've spent your whole life performing, smiling when you wanted to cry, nodding when you wanted to say no, trying to be the version of yourself you thought the world would applaud. But applause is a fragile thing. It fades as soon as the lights dim. What's left when the noise stops? That's who you really are. That quiet space after performance ends. That's where peace begins. And maybe it's time you met that version of yourself again. The one who isn't trying to impress anyone. The one who's already enough. If that sounds like the freedom you've been craving, subscribe. Because this space is for you, for the real you, the one behind the mask. I used to wake up every day and put on a show. Not with cameras or scripts, but with smiles, achievements, I'm fine-ness, and endless effort to be someone worth admiring. But performing for the world is like running on a treadmill. No matter how fast you go, you never arrive anywhere. You just get tired. One morning, I caught myself in the mirror and realized I didn't even know the person staring back. I had become a collage of everyone else's expectations. And in that moment, I whispered something that changed everything. I miss me. Maybe you felt that too. That quiet ache of pretending. You do everything right, yet somehow it never feels real. You chase validation like oxygen, but it never fills your lungs. Because truth isn't loud. It doesn't need to be. It's the steady heartbeat beneath all the noise. The moment you stop performing for approval, you start living for peace. And that's when life begins to feel like yours again. There's a story about a small-town musician who played his guitar every night on his porch. People would stop to listen, not because he was famous, but because he played with honesty. One evening, someone asked him, "Why don't you play on big stages?" He smiled and said, "Because then I'd start playing for the crowd, not for song." That's what authenticity feels like, doing something because it's true, not because it's seen. We've all been trained to play roles. The good son, the patient friend, the perfect employee. But sometimes the bravest thing you can do is step off the stage. Take a bow. Thank the audience and walk home to yourself. It's not rebellion, it's reunion. It's remembering that you were never meant to be a performance. You were meant to be a presence. Try this. Today, do one small thing with no audience in mind. Sing in your kitchen. Write something no one will read. Take a walk without taking a photo. Sit in silence without posting about how peaceful it feels. The world doesn't need to see your every breath. Some breaths are sacred precisely because they're unseen. When you stop performing, something beautiful happens. Your life slows down enough for meaning to catch up. Conversations feel lighter. choices feel clearer. Even solitude stops feeling lonely. It starts feeling like home. You start hearing your own voice again, not the echo of everyone else's opinions. And that voice, gentle, honest, imperfect, is the one you can finally trust. I met a retired teacher named Helen who said something that stayed with me. For 40 years, I taught others to raise their hands. Now, I'm finally learning to raise my own. That's what reclaiming yourself looks like. It's remembering that your voice matters, even when it shakes. It's realizing that you don't need permission to be who you already are. Here's the truth. The world will never stop asking for more from you. More output, more smiles, more effort, more proof. But peace comes when you start asking less from yourself. Less pretending. Less explaining. Less proving. You don't have to fit every mold. You just have to feel whole in your own skin. And yes, people may not understand at first. They'll say you've changed. But maybe you were just returning to your pace, your truth, your boundaries. You'll find that when you live authentically, not everyone will clap, but the ones who truly love you won't need to. They'll simply stay. So tonight, when you take off the day's mask, look at yourself in the mirror and say, you don't have to perform anymore. Feel how your shoulders drop. Feel how your breath deepens. That's peace. It doesn't shout. It just arrives quietly when you stop pretending. If this message made you exhale, hit like. So find someone else who's ready to drop the mask too. Share it with a friend who's been carrying too many expectations. And subscribe so each week we can keep practicing the art of being real, the art of choosing truth over applause, presence over perfection. Because maybe happiness was never about being liked by everyone. Maybe it was always about finally liking the person you already are